let's look at a sample data that you have collected from an experiment. So first, I will want you to learn how to box up the table or to add borders. So choose the one that shade all the borders. And you may want to align your data. So typically, we align center. So that's the first format. And next, let's adjust the heading. So heading is typically written as a symbol / units. So for the symbols, the variable, a good practice is to italicize them. So you can click on the italic icon, or you can try to use the shortcut key, highlight the symbols, press on Command I, okay? Command and letter I together. So let's try both methods. Highlight the symbols, not the unit, just the symbol. Click on italic icon, or the symbol Command I. Okay, so you have italicized all the symbols. So next, we will learn how to adjust the precision or the decimal place of your data. The precision of the instrument will determine the number of decimal places. So for T, which is time, is measured by a stopwatch. So stopwatch shows us 2 decimal places in second, but because of human reaction error, we only record up to 0.1 second, right? The second decimal place is ignored because of our human reaction time. So all the data in second needs to have 1 decimal place. So look at this icon to increase or decrease decimal places. Yeah. So if there's no response, when you click on them, it means the data is not treated as number. So there's a shortcut key to change. You can just select number. Okay, so they will not treat it as text. It will treat all the data as number. Then you can change the number of decimal places accordingly. So we want 1 dp in this case. Okay, so we have done for first column, and first column is always reserved for your independent variable, IV. Okay, so what about the precision for D? D is distance. So if distance is measured by meter rule, so meter rule has a precision of 1 mm. But take note, the unit expressed here is cm. So you need to be consistent. 1 mm is equal to 0.1 cm, which means all the numbers needs to be expressed in 1 decimal place. So all the numbers here, it converted to numbers, needs to have 1 decimal place. Yeah. Same for average, all right? Average will follow the precision of the raw data. So for this row, there's no need for you to include in your table, but you need to know the precision in order to express your data in the correct decimal place. Let's go to average. Average is not your raw data, it's your processed data. So you calculate them. Type equal. So it's to ask the computer to calculate. So to be safe, you include bracket, click on the cell, plus, click on the other cell. So these two will add together, divide, right? Slash is divide by 2. Enter. For the rest of the cells, you can either insert formula 1 by 1 or place your cursor at this small rectangle. Okay, place it there until your cursor changes to a cross. Click. Okay, hold on to your click and drag all the way to the bottom, and they'll calculate all using similar formula. So just double check, right? This is the formula. The number in C7 and D7 cells add together, divide by 2. So the rest. Okay, and the number of decimal place should be the same as your raw data. Let's copy this into your Google Doc. Okay, table. You want to link to the spreadsheet or you want to unlink the table from the spreadsheet is fine. In the Google Doc, there's this function that you can add subscript or superscript. So a good habit is to do all this formatting properly. So 1, 2, and AVE should be subscripted. Go to Format, Text, look for subscript. Right? Superscript is to raise it to become a power. So subscript is to make the letter appear smaller underneath. So do the same for 2. Highlight just 2, Format, Text, Subscript. Highlight AVE, Format, Text, Subscript. So you have properly formatted the whole table. Okay, so very quickly, let's go to graph plotting. Okay, to plot graph, you still need spreadsheet. So for the graph that you are going to plot, for example, D against T. Yeah, so this is the DV. And IV is the first column. DV, we will use average, right? That's the purpose of repeating your data to get average. So average will be used. So highlight these 2 columns. Click on your cursor, select the whole column. How do you select more than 1 column? You press on the command key, hold on to the command, and press your cursor to select another column. Once you're done, release both. Yeah, so you have selected 2. Insert, we want a chart. Okay, we want to draw a graph or chart. Okay, it is not this type, so change the chart type to XY, to scatter chart. All right, scatter chart, click on it. All the points are plotted. Okay, do a quick check to make sure the axes are plotted correctly. Let's check the first point. It is 1 and about 8. So it's plotted correctly. Okay, your first column, your IV is typically the x-axis. And a good habit is to change the point, click on the point, and change the point shape to X. All right. Yeah. So the points are plotted as cross. And next, let's insert the line. The whole objective of drawing all the points is for you to have a trend line. So you will see this trend line, click on it. Yeah, a straight line is inserted for you. So by default, they will plot a straight line. If the shape is resemble a curve, more than a straight line, then you will select other function to plot a curve instead. Okay, next, label. So we need to insert the equation of this line. This is very important. I'll teach you how to change the format. Okay, this is not the proper format of equation. Later on, we will edit this when you transfer to Google Doc. Okay, let's label the title of the graph and label the axis, right? Both axes. So if you continue to go, scroll up, look for chart and axis title. So click on this. Oh no, sorry. What I've done is, see, I put the title as vertical axis title. So that is wrong. So I should change, okay, copy this entire thing, or you can retype the whole thing. Chart title, right? Chart title should be graph of D against T. Yeah, so you can choose to leave it at this, or to make it more aesthetically pleasing, you centralize it. So let's go back to horizontal axis title. So we need to label the axis. So horizontally, this is the x-axis. X-axis is your IV, T/second. Okay, so you have the axis title. The other one is vertical axis. So it's not the title of the graph, it's the axis. So this is your DV, D average CM. Yeah, so the both axes are labeled and the title of the graph is here. Horizontal axis. Okay, for horizontal axis, you can decide on the starting number and the ending number. So let's say if you want to maximize the size of your graph. Okay, for example, let me show, or if you are interested to see the origin, I want my graph to start from 0. See, it turns to 0, the starting point, to let you see whether it passes through origin or not. Or if you are not interested in seeing the origin, you will just start from the very first value, x value. Yeah, so let me do it for vertical axis as well. So let's say vertical axis, the first value start from 8 all the way to about 20. So 0 to 8 is not utilized. So let's say you want to maximize the size of the graph. I want to start from, let's say, 5, 6, or 7. You can do so. Example, if I start from 6 and I want to see this point, maybe it's being cut off. I want to see more of it. I type 22. Okay, you hide those that are not required. Okay, so really stretch. So the empty space from 0 to 5 is hidden. So now the graph is stretched longer on your graph paper. Okay, so you can explore with a starting and ending number if you want to stretch the size of your graph. Okay, last thing to look at is grid lines. So let's add minor grid line. Currently are all the major grid line. All these lines shown are major grid line. So if you remember, your graph paper has minor grid line as well. So if you click on minor grid line, so all this line in between the two major grid line appears. And we want to split them into 5 intervals. So you have 4 counts. So 4 lines in between. So you have total 5 boxes, okay, between 1 cm or between 1 interval. Do the same for your vertical axis. Vertical axis, I also need the minor grid line. And how many of them I want? I want 5 of them. So at 4 counts. Yeah. So between 6 to 8, there are 5 boxes. Copy the entire graph to your report. You can choose to link to your spreadsheet or not, up to you. Yes, so this is the graph. Now let's teach you how to change this, the presentation of your equation of the line. So because of the limitation, you cannot change on your Google spreadsheet. So let's change it on Google Doc. So you can type the equation of the line of best fit, or simply the equation of the line is, usually this is a general formula. Y is mx plus c. What is your y-axis? Your y-axis is d average. So d average equals to mx. M is 2.36, 2.36 x. Because you are not drawing x-axis, you are drawing t-axis. You put t plus c. 6.04 is the c. 6.04. Okay, so now because you are on Google Doc, you can actually add subscript or italicize everything properly. So AVE, format, text, subscript. And D average is a variable. You can italicize. Command I, or you can use the italic function. So this is how you present the equation of the line properly.